Imagine the acrobat of gunpowder lingering in the damp December air of a Gresham apartment complex. The kind of place where chain-link fences sag like weary shoulders and distant sirens wail like lost souls. A 15-year-old boy clutches a backpack stuffed with dreams and desperation, guns and coke. Currency of a world that chews up kids like him. Then chaos erupts. Gunshots crack like bones snapping, blood sprays hot and sticky across cracked concrete. A young life gurgling to an end in a pool of his own warmth, eyes wide with the shock of betrayal. The shooter? Not alone. His accomplice watches, heart pounding, the metallic tang of fear mixing with the thrill of the score. Welcome to the unraveling of Ty Anthony Sage, the 26-year-old shadow who turned a botched drug deal into a grave on December 4th, 2021, only to slip free from Multnomah County Jail on September 22nd, 2025, due to a clerical blunder that ignited a statewide manhunt. Today, we're cracking open his fractured psyche, not just a headline screaming murder suspect walks free from the Oregonan, but the deep, festering roots of mind wired for predation. From a childhood forged in Portland's underbelly to the explosive rage that felled Lowgunn Ivey, we'll dissect why a man like Ty doesn't just kill. He devours trust itself. Buckle up. This descent into darkness might make you double-check your own shadows. It always starts in the cradle of neglect, doesn't it? Picture little Ty, maybe 7 or 8, in a Portland row house where the walls throb with the muffled shouts of parents too tangled in their own storms to notice a boy's quiet unraveling. Public records from Multnomah County court filings, pieced together in ABC News reports from late September 2025, sketch a family portrait straight out of a cautionary tale. Absentee guardians, whispers of substance abuse rippling to the household like smoke from a back alley joint. Ty's dad, a ghost, in and out like bad weather, leaving behind the kind of void that psychologists dubbed insecure attachment, that primal wound where a kid learns love is as fleeting as a high. No bedtime stories, just a cold echo of unanswered cries, planting schemas of abandonment that fester into adulthood. In Freudian terms, it's the ID unchained early, that raw, impulsive core screaming for control when the superego, your moral compass, never gets a chance to form. By his teens, Ty's bouncing through Gresham schools, grades slipping like sand through fingers, no sports trophies or debate club pins to cling to. Education? A casualty of chaos. He drops out around 16, per juvenile records hinted at in KGW8's coverage, trading textbooks for street corners where survival means hustling, not homework. But here's the twist that keeps you glancing over your shoulder. Was Ty born a monster, or did the streets scope him? Fast forward to his early 20s, and he's knee-deep in Portland's underbelly, no steady job, just gigs in the gray economy, slinging deals that blur the line between entrepreneur and predator. Court affidavits from the 2021 case, unsealed in May 2025 and dissected by OPB, reveal a worldview soaked in nihilism. Life's a zero-sum game. Trust a sucker's bed and power? That's the only God worth worshiping. Religiously? Silent as a grave. No church pews or prayer beads in his orbit. Just a godless grind where karma's a myth peddled to the weak. Relationships? Transactional traps. Witnesses in the Ivy probe, quoted anonymously in Fox News September 25th pieces. Paint Ty as a charmer with a serpent smile, flings that flare hot and die cold, laced with possessiveness that screams borderline personality traits. Ever had a lover who flipped from adoration to accusation over missed text? Multiply that volatility by unchecked trauma, and you've got a powder keg. Ty's emotional blueprint? A cocktail of antisocial personality disorder, ASPD, the clinical label for that empathy vacuum where victims are just obstacles and narcissistic wounds, feeding a grandiosity that justifies anything. Simple breakdown. ASPD means no brakes on impulse. It's why he planned a robbery but pulls the plug at the last second, only for his partner to light the fuse. In schema therapy lingo, it's a mistrust-abused core belief. The world's out to get you, so strike first. Hey! If this peek into the abyss is your pulse racing, the way unchecked shadows can swallow a life whole, do us a favor. Smash that subscribe button right now and drop a like if you're brave enough to keep watching. Your clicks fuel these raw dives, and trust me, the layers only get bloodier. Now, let's slink into the motive, that slimy undercurrent pulling Ty toward December 4th, 2021, like a riptide. It wasn't random rage. It was calculated opportunism, rooted in what's called instrumental aggression in psych profiles, violence as a tool, not an outburst. Facebook messages subpoenaed and splashed in the Oregonians made 2025 indictment coverage. Show Ty as the architect. Coordinated with middleman Sean Millis for a backpack sting, luring Lowgunn Ivey and a 14-year-old psychic to a Gresham apartment complex with promises of cash for guns and coke. Why Lowgunn? Easy prey in Ty's predatory lens, 15, vulnerable. From a fractured home like his own, making him a mirror Ty could shatter without guilt. Psychoanalysts would nod, repetition compulsion, replaying his abandonment by dominating the discarded. The kid arrives around 3 p.m., backpack heavy with temptation, the air thick with the buzz of distant traffic and the faint, sour whiff of rain-soaked asphalt. Ty and Kevin Rivas Ramirez, his 26-year-old accomplice, roll up empty-handed, no funds, just intent. Tension coils like a spring. Ty inspects the haul, sniffs the coke, declares it fake. Words fly, sharp as shrapnel. They were just kids. Ty later confesses to Portland cops during a hospital bed interview. Per coin 6 transcripts, a flicker of his stunted superego, almost humane. But then the flip, Rivas Ramirez draws, fires. Pop, pop, pop. Lowgunn crumples, chest blooming red, a wet cough bubbling from his lips as he claws at the ground, gravel biting into palms slick with his own blood. The 14-year-old dives for cover, a grazed, tearing flesh like paper, screams piercing the afternoon haze. A 23-year-old bystander, caught in the crossfire, thighs shredded, collapsing in a heap of agony and confusion. Witnesses, neighbors peering from cracked blinds, spill in affidavits. Shots everywhere, kids yelling, blood on the stairs. One tells Gresham PD, voice trembling in the OPB September 24th report. The scene? A slaughter pen. Shell casings glinting like discarded teeth. Lowgunn's body twisted unnaturally, eyes staring blank at the overcast sky. The coppery reek of blood mingling with the sharp sting of cordite. Ty bolts, heart hammering, but not before the robbery's half-scored. Grabbing what he can, a thief in the fog of fallout. From a psych lens, this is ASPD in overdrive. No remorse, just regret for the mess. Evolutionary psych weighs in a Darwinian street code. Robbing the weak secures resources. But Ty's hesitation hints at comorbid anxiety, that gnawing fear of consequences from a childhood where punishment was arbitrary. Why guns? Phallic extension of his fragile ego, a displacement for the power he never wielded at home. And the choice of accomplices? Rivas Ramirez, same age, same shadows, mirrors of mutual destruction, bound by the antisocial bond where loyalty is measured in silence, not ethics. But wait, did Ty really pull back, or was that just a lie to salve his soul? Hold that chill, because the manhunt's fever dream reveals how close we came to another body count. Breathe deep, that metallic echo of gunfire still ringing? Picture yourself in Lowgunn sneakers, backpack slung heavy, trusting a deal in a world that preys on the young. What would you have done differently? Hit the comments now. Spill your gut take on how trauma turns boys into beasts. Your words could spark the next breakthrough in spotting these fractures. Diving deeper, let's map the disorders, plain and piercing. Ty's profile screams ASPD. Chronic deceit, impulsivity, a thrill in violation. Textbook from the DSM-5, where empathy is not absent but atrophied, like a muscle starved of use. Layer on conduct disorder from his youth. Vandalism wraps in juvenile court. Per KGW 8 digs, escalating to adult predation. But it's the narcissistic overlay that twists the knife. Grandiose entitlement, where Lowgunn's fake coke isn't a deal gone south. It's an affront to Ty's code, igniting shame rage. Simple Psych 101. When your core self feels small, you lash out big. PTSD lurks too, from family volatility, turning every score into a battlefield, hypervigilance mistaking negotiation for threat. No formal evals in the records. Ty's too slippery for therapy, but his hospital confession, quoted in Fox News September 26th, I was going to pay $4,000. But it went wrong. Reeks of rationalization, that cognitive dissonance where killers rewrite scripts to sleep at night. Worldview? Survival of the slickest. No divine hand to rein it in. Atheistic pragmatism, where heaven's a heist and hell's getting caught. Compared to your commute, That road rage flip when someone cuts you off? Ty's version ends in blood. His schema's firing like faulty wiring. Reports from KPDV's September 25th interview with Lowgunn's mom, Jody Ramsey. I'm on complete edge. Lost faith in justice. Echo the ripple. One man's void swallows families whole. And the method? Not serial sadism, but opportunistic blitz. Robbing for gain. Killing as collateral, per DA Madeline Loeb's court filing. Sage acted intentionally in planning. Ivey died as a result. Wyatt teen. Vulnerability's currency. Lowgunn, wheelchair-bound at times from old injuries, was low risk in Ty's calculus. A lamb led to the setup. The blunder that freed him? September 17th bail hearing. Judge Brian Francesconi denies release, citing proof evident of guilt. But a misread order, filed a day late, lets Ty post $5,000 on the 22nd. He vanishes, sparking alerts from Portland to the coast. Monumental mistake. Ramsey tells KPTV, voice cracking like thin ice. Ty holds up 180 miles south in Florence. The salty crash of waves mocking the manhunt's frenzy. September 25th, 1 p.m., U.S. Marshals and deputies swarm a Highway 101 gas station. No shots, just cuffs snapping on wrists that once gripped a dealer's edge. Ty's face? Pale, eyes darting like a cornered fox. The pumps beat the only fanfare as he's led away. No force needed. Book no bail, trial looming, life of convicted, per Oregon statutes. Philosophically, Ty's saga screams Camus absurd, a universe indifferent, where clerical ink spills blood and man's freedom is his curse. He chose the hustle over the halt, embracing the void Sartre called bad faith, denying his agency in the slaughter, blaming the fake coke like Sisyphus cursing the boulder. Yet in that cell, the boulder rolls back, echoes of Logan's gasp, Ramsey's fear, a mirror forcing the gaze he fled. Is it retribution's illusion or the raw truth that unchecked impulses forge their own chains? In the end, Ty's not redeemed. He's entombed by choice, a warning etched in the absurd. We all teeter on the edge, spot the fall before it claims another. Phew, that's the gut wrench. If Ty's shadow has you rethinking the deals you make in the dark, subscribe mid-churn, and if you're still here, heart intact. We chase these ghosts so you see yours clearer. What's your escape story from a bad vibe? Comment below. We're all on the hunt.